Good Monday morning to you. I'm Mr. EPAWA Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. This is your outlook for February 3rd, 2014, and we have a winter storm that is going to be affecting the area today. And we're going to take a look at the NAM future radar. This is the composite reflectivity from this future radar for the NAM here. And looks like we're going to have some marginal temperature for the southern areas here. We were monitoring temperatures last evening here, and it looks like we have temperatures that are still very warm down here. The front has been very slow to progress southeast. Had some showers actually start over here, even up in these areas here. But I think once the heavier precipitation makes its way in, this will quickly go over to snow up in these areas. And that's indicated here in this purple area here. This is all snow here at this point at 5 o'clock in the morning. And you see down here by Philadelphia into central Jersey, south central PA here, maybe south of Lancaster near in that area, into Chester County, Delaware County, Philadelphia County. These are all showing rain on the future radar here. This will go over to snow at some point here, and it won't take too long. Here's 6 o'clock, here's 7 o'clock. This is all heavy snow now up here in this area here, and then as time goes on here, that will shift southeast. And you can see Philadelphia by 9 o'clock in the morning, or 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going over to snow and some heavy snow. And the best banding is going to take place down in this area. It does lighten up a little bit as you get to about the noon hour here, and then that starts to move away here. Here's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It starts moving out of here, and it's out of the picture. Now the NAM high res goes very aggressive with these snowfall totals, and I think this is unrealistically aggressive here with these totals here. Not sure exactly how we're getting to these totals here, but it actually has some totals of these totals are here up in the 8 to 12 inch range, and they go all the way up here to the southern Poconos. I don't think that's going to even come close to happening. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some outperforming totals here up in this area, but I really wouldn't bank on that. I think your best forcing is actually going to be down across southeastern PA, probably in this area right here. This is probably your area that is going to have the best lift and best forcing. So that's where you expect the heavier banding, and you get some pretty heavy rates with those big fat flakes coming down. Temperatures, it's going to be heavy wet snow, temperatures near the freezing marks. You're going to get right where the thermal gradient sets up, which is right along the boundary here of where rain and snow is going to be. That's where you're going to have your heavy snows, just to the northwest of there. Also, it's a little aggressive here in South Jersey here. I don't know if it gets that high there either. It's the NAM high res is going really aggressive. It's notorious for doing this, for overdoing amounts, especially the day before an event. And I'm not sure exactly why it does that, but it seems to be unrealistically aggressive. And some of the short range models have done that as well. The GFS is a little bit different. Actually, it does indicate that you have the mix here starting off Monday morning at 7 a.m. here, and then the next frame here we're going all over to snow by the afternoon for most of the area. But this is not as aggressive. I mean, the GFS does put some, just the areas I circled down here, down in these areas here, does put some decent snow amounts in there as we get over 6 inches in a few spots here, 6 to 8, somewhere in that range. But up in here, where we have on our final call map, it is less, and we're going to show you that here, the final call map that we have here. We think it's still a very good solid call at this point, and we're doing this video here about 12:30 in the morning on Monday. So with nothing, so I know some of these models are going very aggressive with these short range models are going very aggressive with the totals here, but we have temperatures that are marginal starting off. And the marginal temperatures are going to kind of be like anywhere south of here. We're going to start off as rain, I think, and then we're going to go over to some heavy snow as you get to at least by mid-morning for some of these areas down here, but probably like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in that time frame. But these areas up here will be mostly snow, if not all snow, as that precipitation comes down real heavy. And that would be after 4 a.m. When we're talking about this from west to east, probably about 3 out here, and up more like 5 o'clock in the morning over here in this area. But these totals are pretty true to what we think is going to happen. Here's about this is the 3 to 6 swath here. Up here we're talking about 1 to 3, a coating to 1 inch up here, and 4 to 8 is our jackpot here. And then you can progressively go less down here, with a very sharp cutoff to the south here, because we're going to have that warmer air, and you're going to have just maybe some snow at the tail end. And from north to south, that'll change over quicker. So we do have the totals that are going down considerably down here because of that gradient. And we do think the final call map will be pretty close to true amounts, but we will update during the day today as we see fit, just judging by the radar and doing some analysis during nowcasting. Okay, we're going to go to the next storm here. This is going to be the one Tuesday night to Wednesday. I do think we start off with snow here, and a pretty good bit of snow here. I think we can get for some folks here. This is probably going to start somewhere after, well, maybe about midnight or so, maybe late evening on Tuesday. And then this is showing here 1 o'clock in the morning. Snow has already made it over to most areas here at this point. And then we go to the next frame here, and this is the concern here. This is Wednesday morning. We're just seeing going over to some freezing rain here. And here's your 32-degree line. The 32-degree line is actually running right about here. So anywhere north of that could be some substantial freezing rain here after some heavy snow, and especially from central PA over to Harrisburg, Lehigh Valley, up into northern New Jersey. It's northwestern New Jersey especially. You could get into some of that heavy icing. But these areas to the north here may stay all, if not mostly, snow. So we're going to have to narrow this down as we get a little bit closer and see what's going on exactly with this. And it's going to be a tricky forecast, especially when you're dealing with the rain-snow line. But the GFS does actually take this to the next frame here. Does take it over to rain for areas in the south here. Does hold on to that 32-degree line below here in the Poconos. It gets barely above freezing in the Lehigh Valley, so you might end as rain there very briefly before this moves out. But most of this stays frozen, looks like, and the temperatures have been considerably going down. As we look at these runs, they've been trying to get this system to be a little bit colder this time, as opposed to being warmer. You get a pretty good decent amount of snow up here. I mean, I would say your 6-inch line probably runs something like this here. Anything north of that line is 6 inches or more from this one too. So even the areas that are going over to freezing rain, you're still going to have that thump on the front end, I think. So we're going to look at this as we get closer and narrow that down. And we'll come out with a first call on probably this evening, as we're going to do for the first call, and then we'll do a final call on Tuesday evening before the storm hits. Okay, and then we get a pretty tranquil week the rest of the week. It is going to be colder, though. We're going to be looking ahead to our next system, which will probably take place on Sunday. Here's the GFS. Actually, this is coming in even slower than previous runs here. This is actually Sunday night, so you might have most of the weekend dry if this is correct, but there's some timing difference between this and some other models here. But you see another big storm here wrapping up off the coast, and you could have another big snow event. And I mean, this really gets wrapped up on here on the GFS, but it's a little bit too far offshore, so you're not talking about a blizzard for the interior, because you're just getting, like these areas here are getting into it, but not really a massive storm. If this was about up here, you'd be talking about some really crippling snows here if this was correct. But a lot of time for things to change with that. We're getting way out ahead of ourselves. I just wanted to show you that, because a lot of people have been asking about what's going to happen on the weekend. Where's that big blizzard at? Well, it is here. Here it is. This is a blizzard, but this is way too far to the southeast on the current run of the GFS. But we expect some back and forth over the next couple of days, and different solutions. Might even see something cut up here like this and bring rain for a day, and everybody's going to panic. A lot of time to look at that, so just stay tuned. We have a couple days to look at it and narrow that down too as well. Actually, several days to look at that, as we're not talking about until maybe later in the weekend, on the upcoming weekend here. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for February 3rd, 2014. Have a great Monday.